Hello again, it's Noob, and today we're going to be looking at a Dimple pick set that's been around for ages, possibly longer than I've been picking locks, but I just never did get round to doing a review of it. And this is the HUK 10-piece Dimple lockpick set. I say 10 piece, it's actually 8 picks and 2 tension tools. I shall show you. And all throughout this video, I want you to bear in mind that this kit retails somewhere around the 25 to 30 pounds mark, somewhere around the 27 to 33 dollars, something like that, or thereabouts. But it's a cheap set. It is. But you know, HUK have quite a good reputation. When you open it up, you see that this actually looks really smart as well. I actually really like this case. It's lightweight, but it's rigid. Actually, yeah, I really like the case. It comes with a couple of tension tools, nothing you haven't seen before. Z bar. It's a bit rough, but that doesn't really matter in Dimple locks. It's relatively thin. Usually these have one thick and one thin side. Not that it really matters. You're going to need more tension tools anyway. And this really thick tension tool here. Which actually is really good in multi-lock classics. It's nice and broad. The ones without too much warding. Yeah, so it's not bad, that Z bar. Okay, then you get your 8 picks, and for the most part these are matched left and right by colour. So I'm just going to go in with what we see here, but you see I've got a 6 and a 7. Let's move that up here. So I've got 6 and a 7, 6 and 7. Then let's do the blue ones next. I've got a 4 and 5. Okay, that makes sense. 4 and 5. And so far they are matched pairs. So you can see here that you've got a left and a right hand flag, for example. The 6 and the 7 are curved. They've got the red ones. And I think they're quite nice, aren't they, these metallic colours? And we've got a 2 and a 3. And if you're counting the numbers, you might be thinking, well, something's going on with the numbering here. Why have we got a 2 and a 3? Why not a 1 and a 2? Well, you do have a 1, but you also have an 8. Look, 1 and 8. And that's because they aren't matched, which is really odd. And we'll come on to that in a minute. It's just it's not a bad thing. It's just, well, just an odd thing. So yeah, you have your 8 Dimple picks, and like I said, I think if you open this up, you'd be pretty pleased with what you see. Actually, the colours are all nice. The finish is pretty smart. Yeah, it's generally quite just a nice set visually. But what is going on? You've got match pair, match pair, match pair, and then so which isn't. Well, this is the shortest of the right-hand flags. I mean, looks like it's welded on. It's not too bad, but it's a bit rough towards the end. And that is different to the red and the blue ones. Okay, odd. Seemingly though, if I look at this and this, unless I'm mistaken, I feel that these are very similar, these 2 curved flags. Maybe one's a bit deeper, maybe that's a bit shallower, but there's not much in it. So if it is a little shallower, then fine, but it's an odd choice. Does that matter? No, lots of these Dimple pick sets tend to have slightly odd combinations in, especially the ones which are all the way from China, like these clearly are. Let's talk about overall finish though. This is what's quite nice. So let's just pick out one of these. First of all, they are really comfortable in the hand. This knurling here is really superb. Just let me show you me picking a little Abus Dimple lock. This might be a fake Abus, but it's still a Dimple lock, and it will show off the picks. Okay, nothing on 1, 2's binding. 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to 1 now, which is binding, set. 3's now binding. 4, 5, 6, nothing on there. Just reduce the tension a little bit. Back to 2 now. Nice click off 2. 4's now binding. Nice click. Back to that. Just touched 5, nothing, 6, and we're open. So there you go. You saw how one of these Dimple picks, it just works really fine. Why does it work fine out of the pack? Well, look at the finish out of the pack. This, whether it's done by hand or machine or a combination of both, is very well rounded. You'll see that it's a little bit more rounded around this section, and it goes a little bit wider at this end, quite considerably so. So I don't know how they've done it, but this is one of the best finished out of the pack Chinese Dimple pick sets that I have seen. Let me just show you, because I have to do a comparison really. One of my favourite Chinese sets, the Honest Dong Shi set, which is maybe a tiny bit more expensive, but not a lot. They're basically roughly the same. And just pick out any one of these at random and show you. This is how, well, let's do a direct comparison. This is the difference here between those two sets. One is square and desperately needs finishing off. The other one is rounded when you buy it. So straight out of the pack, these are usable. Is it the best finish you can get? Well, if you want to spend a little bit more time, here is one of the Honest picks that I hand finished. And you see I managed to get a much thinner a finish and a taper towards the end, which really suits my style. So that's what you can do. Compare it again to one of the best hand finished Dimple picks you can buy, which is from Spooks, and you can see again just how, if you really do want to spend the time, how you can get a finish. And that doesn't matter whether you get the Dong Shi set or this HUK set. If you want to spend a bit more time with some sandpaper in a vise and finish these picks off, you'll get something really good. But if you're in a rush, you don't have much time, then you'll still be able to pick a lot of locks with these as they are, at least these flat flags. The curve flags, they're just way too big as they are. These would need some serious modification of the tips to become useful. And they do become very useful, by the way. Don't think they don't. These are a really good base for modification. But the curved flags in this set, you can't really use them out of the box, or at least I've not been able to. They're just too wide. So all in all, I have to say that for the money, you're getting something really nice here. Also worth mentioning that you can these twist at one end, so there is actually, can you see? It's a bit strange. It doesn't make any impact at all to the way you use these. I can only think that these handles are possibly used as for like a little screwdrivers or something. They've repurposed them. I've got no real idea, but it is interesting, isn't it? But yeah, for the price, I don't think you can go too wrong, especially if you want some left and right flags which are basically ready to use out of the pack. I think this is a pretty good set. So, you know, these 5 picks in particular are really good. Tensioners are great. The curved flags, if you're willing to just modify the tips a little bit with some sandpaper and a file, they're good to go too. Now, would I recommend it over the Honest Dong Shi set? Well, the Honest Dong Shi set, as you can see, has a different colour per pick. So if you know that you like the dark orange one the best, which is one I do like the best, then you can just grab that one. You know, it comes with a few more picks. It's only got 2 more tensioners the same, but this does come with slightly more picks. And also another thing which is worth noting on the Honest Dong Shi set, it does have a screw in there, so you could take these tips out, modify them a bit more easy, put new tips in, different tips in if you want to. These handles can be repurposed. If you look at these ones here in the HUK set, there isn't a way to get these off. I think they've just been pressed in or pushed in. I'm sure there's a way if you really want to, you could pull them out and put them back in, but I've never tried and I wouldn't want to. So would I recommend this? I think for the price, it's really hard not to. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really good. The steel's really good. They pick really nicely. They're pretty much, most of them are good to go out of the pack. With a bit of modification, all of them be good to go out of the pack. I would still probably choose the Honest set, not because it has a better case or necessarily better picks, but I do like the fact that each pick is a different colour and I can change the tips, albeit that you do have to spend a lot more time finishing those picks. So I think it really is an equal choice. I really couldn't tell you which one to buy out of those 2 kits. I think whether you went for the Honest set or the HUK set, you'd be as long as you knew the pros and cons of them, you'd be perfectly happy with either of these. And so you should be. They're actually made of very good materials, all in all. They just need a little bit of care and attention. So yeah, really great kit. Definitely worth checking out. Needs a bit of TLC, but not as much as most of these kind of kits. Let me know if you've ever used these. What do you think? How have you got on with them? Would you buy them again? Would you recommend them? Let me know in the comments, and I'll speak to you all and see you all next time.